Alright, you guys, so I'm editing videos and I need an intro, so here's the story. Here's a bunch of blahu that I talked about on day 2. I hope you like it. Check it out. I don't know if I mentioned yesterday that I had never intended on originally in my like, oh, I did. I remember saying this in my teenage mind that I was never going to be a mother. Yeah. That's silly. I'm really glad that I didn't choose to follow through on that choice that I thought was the choice. You know, obviously 18-year-olds are naive and they don't understand like real happiness. Like they think like I'm gonna be happy or being independent and being free and like doing the things that I want to do because I love to do what I want to do. And then you're alone. And if you continue to not want children, then you die alone. And maybe if you're lucky, you met someone along the way, or maybe your niece will be at your funeral. But like, I can't imagine my life without being a mom. Like, I can't wait that hopefully someday I get to be a grandma. I don't want it to be soon. I mean, like, I know plenty of people that were grandparents by the time they were 44, but I'm not going to be this year, so it doesn't matter. I love being a mom. And Bobby, I never mentioned this part yet, so Bobby wanted more children. And after being pregnant for 3 years straight, I didn't want to. My last pregnancy was extremely rough on me. I think if it would have been my first pregnancy, I might not have had 4 more. Got my tubes tied at the hospital the day after he was born. Actually, I was scheduled for cesarean. Whole nother story. I will only have the 5 kids. Maybe I'd adopt one. I think that I would foster children. I'm not sure, like, that's something specifically, like, that Bobby would have interest in. And I could see myself loving and caring for other people's children. I don't know. I just could. So, though I'm not doing that currently, it's not even like a plan in our life. It's not. So like, if you guys are like, when's this happening? It's probably not. I just wanted to be open with people, like, so that people aren't like, are you gonna have more kids? I thought like maybe I could like prevent it before it starts. No, I'm fixed. The funniest and not funniest part is I signed the papers to have my tubulation at birth without permission from Bobby, and God, people are gonna freak out. I know I don't need permission from the man to do something to my body, but it probably wasn't right of me to make the choice for our family without having him have a say. But I had just spent the last 3 years pregnant. I had just spent the last like 6 months almost on bed rest, just miserable. And I was afraid, like, what if I like couldn't do this again? This is hard. So I signed the papers, and then the pediatrician that came and visited Maddox after he was born, she said, honey, I read in your record that you're planning on having a tublication tomorrow. talk you out of it. Like, please, I probably shouldn't say this in public because, like, she said to me, I see you had 5 healthy pregnancies. I see that you're healthy. This might be the biggest mistake you ever make. There are a lot of people in this world that bodies do not get better after tubulation. Not just tubulation, getting fixed. Legalized sterilization is actually the paperwork you sign, which is like, Poppy was pissed, to say the very least. Him and I had an argument about it, I remember. He couldn't believe how selfish I was for thinking, like, not thinking that he might want another child. And I explained to him that I had given him 3, and that he had gotten a son, and he had gotten daughters. And I was already doing it. And so, when the pediatrician proceeded to say, Jamie, I just don't think this is in the best interest of you. And I'm like, how is it not? I don't want to be pregnant again. And I, like, just got pregnant for 3 years. I'm gonna get pregnant again. I've never been the same. She was right. I can't say it was the trigger that started my body's downfall. I can't. But I can't say it wasn't. So, maybe it wasn't the healthiest thing for my body. My body is, like, I didn't have to go through pregnancy again. The following year, my autoimmune started full-fledged, like, suffering effect. So, I researched, and, like, situations like that can trigger the onset of people's autoimmunes. They say that, like, a high trigger situation or some very stressful situation can, like, trigger the onset of, like, of that autoimmune that might have been sitting silent inside of you. Like, really, no one understands autoimmune, so don't take me like I'm a pro. I've spent a lot of years trying to research on, like, what I can do to reverse this trigger reaction, and try to just be healthy and deal with everything on a day-to-day basis to know, how to deal with not always being able to be the person you want to be every day. I know a lot of people are dealing with very similar health issues that I am. I realize it when I watch other people's YouTube videos, but I don't want it to be what people focus on when they come. Oh, really, Tip? So if I don't talk about my physical well-being on a daily basis, it's because I try not to make it the focus. Whether or not I can stand comfortably for all day, or whether or not, like, you watch me, like, shuffle, because, like, you might look like I'm just, like, an ADD, like, moving mess, but, like, truth is I can't stand on one leg for more than a couple minutes, and, like, I'm constantly doing the leg switch. I noticed when I was listening to my video that there was a few, I gotta turn on my oven to make dinner, there was a few comments I made, in lighthearted comments about health, because I almost threw up. And when I replied them, the couple of things that I had mentioned, I think people would have thought I was pregnant. And so like, I decided that maybe I should just talk about motherhood today, and like, it's the main part of me, so like maybe it should be what I'm discussing first, or maybe it should be like what I conversate about most. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, like, I might talk about some, but I just had noticed that, like, I mentioned, like, I get, like, memory loss and, or, like, confused brain. And then I mentioned that I was on the verge of puking. And I realized those two things are normal pregnancy things, you know, like baby brain and morning sickness. These are very much not it. My nausea is a daily thing. Some days are better than others. I survive. And the other is, sorry, my hips hurt so bad right now, is, they say people with, like, fibromyalgia get, they call it brain fog. Almost forgot what it was. I mean, that would have been, like, perfect for this sentence, because, like, brain fog is exactly what I was having. So they'd say, like, you might, like, have some moments of confusion, or, like, I lose words. I lose words sometimes. I feel like when I was taking like the medications that they were trying to offer me, it was worse. I honestly believe that, like, part of my, like, cognitive loss is damage from the medication. Honestly, it kind of started with it. I felt like I was having, like, stupid attacks, like times when, like, words couldn't even come out. Like, I felt like really, like, I was losing my physical, like, mind. Like, not like I'm going crazy. No, I'm having confusion, like frustration from that confusion on top of it. And so that medication became an allergen medication. One's the, like, what you don't take because your doctor considers those harmful to you. And then another medication that one of my doctors tried to give me caused me to get heart palpitations, and he had to call me over the weekend, and after talking to another doctor and emergency, stopped me taking the medication because, come to find out, it was causing me to have serotonin floods, which was making me have heart palpitations, and can cause you to have, like, a heart attack or something like that. It's pretty much, it can screw your heart up. And my body, I guess, already releases too much serotonin, so serotonin flooding me was causing me to have heart wrecks. Like, I didn't know what was happening. Like, my family doctor thought I was having anxiety attacks, and he apologized to me because he was at a wedding, and he talked about me. He said, I didn't say your name, because he was sitting next to a neurologist, and he started talking to this neurologist and was talking some of my symptom issues that I was dealing with on a daily basis. And he called me when he got home. Like, he didn't call somebody to call me. He called me and said, discontinue usage of your medication immediately. I know we were talking about weaning off of it, and I know that it's not healthy to wean, to not wean, but you need to discontinue usage of this medication immediately. So, that medication is now on my don't take medication. So, I weaseled through all of the fibromyalgia. Sorry, I have a really hard time with that word. Medication. And last year I said, no more. No more. I'm not taking it anymore. I'm not getting any more offerings of a different kind. I would rather be in pain than have my GI that already doesn't work right and my headaches to be worse than they are, and I'm still having tons of muscle spasms, so like it isn't helping. I mean, like, I'm physically suffering more by taking this dumb crap. Okay. So my doctor said, all right, okay. And we didn't set up any more appointments because his job was to medicate me. So pretty much I chose to be in pain. My GI never got better, but my nausea is a lot better. I mean, like, I still deal with it daily, but, like, I can eat. I mean, that's good. And I got my weight back on, so, like, I'm not, like, feeling like I'm, like, 110-pound, like, falling apart person. And nobody came to any answers. So we'll leave it at fibromyalgia. Sorry, I'm going to shake my head every time I say that word because my doctor was trying to help me until he decided that I had fibromyalgia. And now he doesn't help me at all. He always says, remember, your fibromyalgia can be triggered by anything. Are you feeling stressed? Are you feeling anxious? Oh, like you're triggering your fibromyalgia. I could be happy. He keeps wanting me to say psychiatrist. He's like, I just think that you're like, must be like anxious and depressed and you just don't even realize it. And this is triggering your fibromyalgia. Okay. Everything I've complained about, they found something. It's not just like sensory pains that are being triggered by my brain. I complain my hips work or hurt. So they did scans and they learned that I don't have any cartilage left. I'm like walking bone on bone and I'm like rubbing that crap and like floating cysts in my hip bones because they're gone. I wore them straight out. Last year, while I was doing PT, I could talk about my health for years. So last year, I did some intense spinal treatment where I had to go see a psychologist and a physical therapist, which was my 4th physical therapy for my spine, and an occupational therapist, and we were going to work out how to live with the life that I got. So my PT and I realized that none of my muscles soften and that everything retightens straight back up again. The psychologist diagnosed me with slight stress and anxiety due to an adjustment disorder. I can't do the things I used to do. I mean, I worked 40 hours a week. I served. I worked as a gardener on a golf course. I busted my butt. I worked every day. In the morning, I would work on the golf course doing like mulching and weeding and like watering any plants and digging and working beds and, you know, doing some cleanup. And then I would run in and I would shower and I would go beer cart, or we have a huge bowling alley and 60 lanes, and like sometimes you were nowhere near the restaurant. You would run like, you know, 15 miles a day. So come to find out, I wore myself straight out. And according to my PT, everything was caught up like I was a weightlifter, and I was working my muscles till they quit. And she pretty much told me that my muscles are shaking and doing the spasms because my muscles can't unengage. Do we know what's causing this? Nobody tried to find it. So, while all my muscles are forever wanting to be engaged, I get a lot of spasms, because she says what happens is my muscle tightens, and then it's sitting tight, but occasionally it's feeling weak, and it wants to soften, and it will like flex, and it will react, and it will cause like that, like flick, or spasm sensation, or like a flicker in my body. And I don't have a place in my body that this isn't happening, but nobody's telling me there's anything wrong. Make sure I didn't have anything left in my oven. I was seeing the psychologist, and, you know, like I said, she was saying adjustment, maybe a little adjustment anxiety, because I was having some emotional issues dealing with the fact that, you know, like, I want to do everything I could do. And I try. And then it's too much, and it makes me hurt for days. I'm not for like one day. It makes me hurt for days. And my family doctor had already moved on from me, and Hardee's wrote fibromyalgia in my report. So he now is like, oh, everything is just sensory pain, and none of it's real. Sorry, I was trying to see what was happening. The cat was motioning towards something. So we ended up pretty much the occupational therapist decided that I need to come with terms. I'm going to laugh as I say, I will never be a Hoover vacuum. I will never have the suction that vacuum had before. My suction hose broke, and it can't be replaced. And now, I need to be a Xerox copier. This was the exact wording that my occupational therapist used. I actually like it. It's kind of like, you know, you live in this box, and in this box, like, you can do everything. Like, this is you, and you're, like, doing it. And then, like, all of a sudden, your box is, like, this big, okay? And, like, you're like, but, like, wait, I want to do this much. And your body's like, no, you can do this much. Okay. So, she said that you just have to be able to be okay with coming with the terms and learning how to live with that, you know, being a Xerox copier. I'll never have good suction again, but maybe I can be a copier. So, sorry, it's really funny to me. So, now I have to learn this is last year. I am fine. I'm fine living within my proximity. But what I was told was, don't step outside your box. Don't pretend that you work within this box. Remember that. Because you are not that box. You are not that Hoover vacuum. Okay? You are a Xerox copier. Does this make any sense to you? I don't know. No, I'm just joking. So, I'm supposed to be okay with living with a smaller proximity. It's called, okay, being okay with, like, what you got. So, I am okay with this. It can be hard. It can be. I have to remind myself to take breaks. What I was told is for every hour you spend, take 15 minutes to relax yourself. Or for every 4 hours, take an hour to lay. I can't do that. I'm supposed to meditate. I really try, and like, so I'm gonna try to hope that like this can be my meditation. This can maybe be like that whatever meditation thing they're talking about. It's funny, I was gonna talk about my health. Here I am talking about my health. During PT during this last year, I was going from November to January, and I started like on week 3. I'm like, I told her I can't feel my arm. Oh, no, don't touch me. I can't feel my arm. Oh my God, it hurts so bad. Oh my God, it hurts. Okay, I'm crying. I'm swollen in this portion of my arm. Oh, I can't poke my arm out more than like this high. Okay. I finally got my diagnosis in April. No, let me rephrase that, because of the pandemic. Late May, okay, because I couldn't get in to any doctors. I had seen my doctor at the beginning of March, like the week before the pandemic started. I saw my OBGYN and was set up for all those, and then I went and saw my spine specialist, and him and I had determined that maybe I would try a few injections up in the shoulder, because the muscle was like ridiculously tight. Like, it wasn't just a little bit tight, like immobile. I don't know if I used the right word. Okay, so I had scheduled for injections, like pain relief injections, for the following week, and then we were gonna MRI and get some pictures of my shoulder to see why nothing was moving. I mean, I'm literally in physical therapy for like my spine. That's the whole spine from the top to the bottom, because I deal with a lot of upper pain and a whole hell of a lot of lower pain. So my upper pain has been getting like out of control, like daily headaches, and things are getting bad. So the doctor, I'm complaining like something is not right. So pandemic kicks in, and like, you know, all my appointments get canceled, which is fine. But then I'm like, I can't even be like, ugh. Like, take me to the ground, drilling tears, like drilling in tears, because like the pain was so bad that I didn't feel like, I was like, is my arm dislocated? Like, it hurts. Chandran recommends that I go to my family doctor, so I call and like we do a video chat, because it's April 2020 and nowhere's open. And so him and I schedule an MRI to take a peek at my arm. So like 3 weeks later, I finally get in on it, and I felt like I was doing this, it was becoming an emergency. But like, I couldn't take it. I wasn't sleeping. I couldn't even do this. I couldn't like do this. Couldn't like 1,000 times over. I couldn't even like pull my. I still can't pull my arm backwards. I don't know why. I felt like my arm needed to be like hooked to me, and there was like nothing else I could do. The MRI showed like that I had a torn rotator cuff, and the elbow pain, because then after the rotator cuff, they canceled the PT that they had originally scheduled for it because I needed heal time. I had been given some like rotator cuff PT actually by my spinal doctor before I quit, before the end of my session. So I was doing some of her recommended PT. I'm really hesitant to do any PT that isn't from a spinal specialist when you have spinal pain. If I could tell anyone that, never go see a PT for hip and back pain when you have spinal problems. Don't just go to any doctor. Look for a spinal specialist, for real. Because, like, come to find out, like, the 2 PT, because I went to 2 different sessions of physical therapy at Spine, they were hurting me. According to the PT at the spine clinic, is I wasn't doing any of the correct exercises. If anything, they were causing it to be worse. So it was causing aggravation and causing inflammation and making things just work. I don't care what other PT people say anymore. I pretty much would like call her or call the other girl, but like my last PT. If you ever watch this, Michelle, I adore you. I think you were very helpful. I follow the tips all the time. Okay, it's been over a year. It's been like a year. I stopped seeing her in the beginning of January. I mean, of course, like anybody that deals with like muscle tightness and like the need to stretch regularly, because I wasn't doing physical therapy like where I needed to do exercises. No, we were trying to find ways of alleviating tightened muscles. So everything I was doing, we were looking at like trying to stretch things out or like make it like calm if it could happen. Usually about 30 minutes of calm, and then it's right back to inflamed again. Oh, I gotta get dinner going. I think partner's home. Yep, there's my Maverick. I gotta go. Bye. Alright guys, thanks for watching my video. Cute Kitty and I, baby bat cat, are gonna tell you to like our video and subscribe. And thanks for watching.